Hello there. Congratulations on being chosen to partake in the time travel experience of a lifetime. In the next few months, you'll be exposed to a life that is nothing like your own right now, but it will help you understand our country's history. My name is Mark Williams. I'm a Canadian historian, and I will be your guide through your time travel experience. As a Canadian history major at Alicia Mackenzie University, you and your peers have already had the chance to explore a number of exciting time travels, and we'll have many more in future units. Here in Unit 9, though, we are diving into the past to learn about the extraordinary life and accomplishments of the late Terry Fox. I will help guide you through what to expect when you depart for your travels, so be sure to pay attention, take notes, and allow yourself to get excited. Without further ado, let's get started. You should be viewing this instructional video on April 4th in the year 2115. That will give you 8 days to pack your belongings and prepare yourself for the time travel experience. You'll be time traveling back exactly 135 years to April 12th, 1980, to St. John's, Newfoundland, the day and place that Terry Fox began his Marathon of Hope. It is still chilly in Newfoundland in early April, so be sure to pack accordingly, but we'll get into that in more detail a little bit later. For now, let's start with an overview of who Terry Fox was and why he was inspired to begin his Marathon of Hope. Terry Fox had always been athletic. He always had the drive, the passion, and the undeniable desire to achieve that it takes to become a successful athlete and a successful person. Terry played on the varsity basketball team at Simon Fraser University in Burnaby, British Columbia, after playing all 4 years at high school. At the end of his first year, however, Terry felt an alarming pain in his right knee. He went to the doctor assuming that it was a simple cartilage problem. 4 days later, he would have his right leg amputated to stop the spreading of a cancerous tumor. Recent medical advances at the time gave Terry a 50 to 70% chance of survival, but Terry's incredible spirit ignored the figures and immediately knew that he wanted to live his new life the same way he lived his old one. Early in 1980, living with a prosthetic leg, Terry decided that he was going to train for the most grueling run anyone has ever attempted, a run across Canada. He trained for 15 months, even when his prosthetic leg was raw and bloody, he kept running. He gained sponsorship from the Canadian Cancer Society, and on April 12, 1980, 5,000 long kilometers away from home, he dipped his foot into the St. John's Harbor of the Atlantic Ocean, with the goal of doing the same in the Pacific Ocean some months later. He was accompanied by his good friend Doug Alward, who drove a van beside Terry for the entire trek, filled with water, food, and other supplies. Terry and Doug would camp out in the van every night before beginning the journey again the next morning. Terry's journey brought him through every major city in the eastern half of Canada and then some. His path was by no means straight, as Terry thought that it was much more important to touch as many people as possible with his message, even if it meant a much longer run. And he certainly did touch many, many people. Crowds would gather the streets in every city he ran through, cheering Terry on and graciously making donations to its cause. In fact, my great-great-grandfather was there to experience Terry's run in real time in London, Ontario. I'm actually pretty jealous of you getting to experience it in person too. However, the Marathon of Hope fell short. As you have learned, Terry's journey across Canada ended early on a rainy day just outside of Thunder Bay, Ontario, when he felt a sharp pain in his chest. After that day's run was complete, Terry got Doug to drive him to the hospital, where he learned that the cancer had unfortunately spread to his lungs. Terry knew that his Marathon of Hope was over. Although he was disappointed in his failure to make it to British Columbia, Terry had felt the result that his run had on Canadians. 10 months later, in June of 1981, Terry Fox passed away. His marathon had raised $23 million towards cancer research at the time of his death, and that number climbed significantly after his passing. Terry Fox was one of the most influential Canadians in the history of our country. Now that you have learned about Terry Fox's life, let's get into the details of your trip. As I said earlier, you will be teleporting to St. John's, Newfoundland. You are to talk to Adam at the car rental shop in St. John's, who is an old friend of mine who chose to stay and live in the late 20th century. I've arranged for a car for you. Before you depart, however, Adam will have to go over with you the basic ways of operating a ground car. It is basically the same as the flying cars that we have now, only with wheels. I know, crazy, right? Next, you are to drive down to St. John's Harbor and find Terry and Doug before they begin their trek. For the purposes of fitting in, I recommend that you should introduce yourself to them and tell them that you'd love to be a part of their journey while you stay at a distance, of course. You will follow them then for 4 months, your entire spring semester, which will take you to Hamilton, Ontario. Adam's brother, John, will meet you at the car rental shop in Hamilton, where you will be teleported back to the current year, 2115. Remember, times were much different back then, so you'll have to quickly adapt to their way of life. You'll have to actually drive to purchase your food, rather than simply ordering it with your mind. Also, remember to pack sleeping supplies, as you will be spending the majority of your nights in your vehicle. You should pack a sleeping bag, at least one pillow, a variety of clothing for changing weather, and of course your running shoes, in case you feel inspired. Since you will be moving locations every day, and due to Terry's slower pace, you may drive ahead to the next city and wait for him to come through. But I do encourage that you spend a great deal of time experiencing the journey close to Terry. The biggest challenge that you'll face during your time travels is not having access to a cell phone or the internet. Neither were present in the 1980s, so you will not be permitted to bring yours with you. This means that you must have a map of Terry's intended route as well as a larger map of Canada. These are both essential belongings. Of course, your trip will be cut short before Terry commences in Thunder Bay, which is unfortunate, but also means that you'll be following Terry for the peak of his journey. You'll be afforded money from Alicia Mackenzie University for your travels, but remember that goods and services were much cheaper in 1980 than they are in 2115. Budget your time and money well, as 4 months is a long time to be away. During your travels, do not be afraid to mingle with locals, ask lots of questions, and of course, donate to Terry's cause. I wish you all the best in your travels, and remember to learn as much as you can so that you'll ace your test when you get back. Have a great time, and thanks for watching.